one. Y'all know how we get down. We're going to talk about fitness. We're going to talk about how to get in shape. If you trying to get in shape, you've came to the right place. We're going to talk about how to lose this stomach. If you trying to get the six pack, you've came to the right place. No gimmicks, no cut cards, no BS. I'm going to tell you everything you need to know. If you want to be a little bit more specific about your personal needs, all you got to do is drop questions. We can go over a lot. We can talk about a lot. We can cover a lot. Things you need to do in order to get in great shape. I love to make sure we keep it very simple when we talk about fitness, because I feel like with social media, fitness can get very confusing. And I don't want to confuse you. I don't want you to spend no extra bread. I just want you to soak in some knowledge and understand things that you can start doing as of right now to get in the best shape of your life. For those who do not know, my name is Coach K, Coach Kemp. I am a certified personal trainer. I always like to get people to understand I am not an influencer, so I'm not in here trying to influence you to work out. I want to actually teach you and get you to understand how to get in the best shape of your life, regardless of where you are. It doesn't matter if you've been working out for 5 years and you want a little extra, like you want a nice chest, want to build arms. Doesn't matter if you're a beginner. I'm going to teach you exactly what you need to get the physique that you want, and not only get it, but maintain it. There's a lot of fundamentals I love to go over just so people can understand the basics. I feel like the basics aren't talked about a lot. People more so want this, that, or the third, and then they think that they have to take this, that, and this in order to get it, and not realize it's all in knowing the small fundamentals. So I am going to go over 3 things you do need to be doing and paying attention to on a regular basis to make sure that you're on top of your game. So that way you can achieve the body that you want to. I want you to understand, somebody like me, I've been in shape for a long time. I've been doing this without creatine, pre-workouts, protein shakes, anything to that nature. I do also want you to understand that I am a gardener. What it do, what it do, what it do, what it do, Slim? Drop your questions if you got questions, by the way, as we go over everything. But do understand, I like to give you a little bit of my background. It says, what do you play? I play basketball, pickleball is another one. For me, I lift weights on a regular basis. I lift weights 5 days a week. So that's a little bit of what I'm doing. I cycle, I run, you know what I'm saying? So do understand, one thing I need you to understand, I'm going to break everything down for you. I'm going to break everything down for you to get you to understand what you should be doing. First thing I want you to understand is this. This right here is 5 pounds of fat. This is 5 pounds of muscle. I feel like this is something that's completely overlooked. It's very important to understand. However you weigh this on the scale, 5 pounds is 5 pounds, correct? But do understand, the only reason why you can't see your six pack is because we got a little too much of this. We got a little too much of this. We need to see more of this. Everybody has muscle at the end of the day. But do understand, when it comes down to not being able to see your six pack, you can't see your six pack because what? Because what? You aren't able to drop the body fat. And you're not able to drop the body fat because you're going about everything the wrong way. We're going about everything the wrong way. It says, I'm so skinny and tall. Do you think I'll be able to be a natty bodybuilder? If you want to be a bodybuilder, be a bodybuilder. I'm not a bodybuilder. I'm a personal trainer, once again. So I help people get what they want. But at the end of the day, if you stay consistent with what you're doing, you can definitely get what you want. If you want to be a bodybuilder, follow a bodybuilder. I'm just going to teach you how to get in shape overall. Do understand that? So I may look like a bodybuilder at the end of the day, but I don't. You know what I'm saying? I don't. I don't bodybuild. I work out. 3 things you need to focus on in order to get in great shape. First thing we're going to go over is going to be your training. A lot of people fail to realize your training does affect, at the end of the day, how you look. So I always say, look into some of the things that you do. It says it's 5 sets. It says it's 5 sets of 5 rep range or 3 sets of 12, the best. It depends on what you want to do. I do a little bit of both, to be honest with you. I do a little bit of both. I don't think it's this is better than that is better than this. It's what you can be consistent with. I personally don't think doing 5 sets of 5 is one of the best benefits if you somebody that just started working out. So if you just started working out, I would recommend doing 2 sets of 10, then working to 3 sets of 10 or 3 sets of 12. They kind of start off. But rep range isn't necessarily something you should always focus on. I always recommend focusing on effectively fatiguing and challenging the body. That's going to be far more beneficial than is this the best of this, because if you're not doing that rep range correctly, then you're not going to be able to maximize what you're trying to get from it. So a great example of 5 sets of 5, do understand 5 sets of 5 is generally something they do in powerlifting or someone who's actually trying to get stronger, trying to lift a little bit more. So within that 5 sets of 5, you might do 1 to 2 minutes of rest to make sure that the body has enough energy to lift heavy again. Do understand generally when we're doing 3 sets of 12, that's considered hypertrophy at that point. Do understand if you're able to do 3 more reps, now we're starting to move towards endurance. So it's all relative to what you're looking for out of your fitness to dictate should you do 5 sets of 5 or 3 sets of 12. But I always say don't necessarily focus on the sets and the reps. Focus on how does the body feel. Are you effectively breaking the body down? This is going to be far more important at the end of the day. This is going to be far more important at the end of the day. It says, how are you supposed to eat? Eating is going to be relative to what your goals are as well, and as well as your digestive system. Your digestive system is going to be important. A lot of people don't realize a great example of what to eat. Some people can eat gluten. Some people can only consume gluten-free. So just be mindful. That's why I always say when it comes down to nutrition, there is no cookie cut approach as if everybody should eat this to look like this. That's not how that works. It's relative to your digestive system. What is your gut health like? What can your stomach handle? Like, for example, me personally, my body doesn't do well with cashews. Cashews make me bloated. My stomach hurts. I get heavy gas from consuming cashews. That might be beneficial for you. I always recommend for those who are just getting into it, just stay balanced. Focus on balance. I've noticed one thing when it comes down to nutrition, everybody loves to talk about protein, but no one loves to talk about vegetables. Are you consuming enough vegetables? I feel like there's a lack thereof vegetable intake more than a lack thereof protein intake when it comes down to eating as well. So I don't always go into what specifically you should be eating unless you enrolled into a nutrition program. But I always like to get people to understand you following exactly what someone else is eating doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to be able to look the way that they look at the end of the day. So do understand one thing. In order to get in great shape and understanding what to eat, it's all relative starting off where you currently are. So one thing I always recommend when it comes down to understanding what you should eat, first, you should be reading ingredients. That's the first thing. Second thing I need you to understand is when it comes down to it, the bulk of people, most people need more vegetables in their diet. And I'm not talking about just eating salads. I'm talking about Brussels sprouts, leek, just to name a few in general that you should be consuming at the end of the day. And so I think this is wrong place for you. These are valuable tips. There must be more followers or more attention. Why don't you try? I'm in tears. So at the end of the day, I'm going to be real with you. Despite you think this might be a great space for me or not, we still going to be here. You feel me? We still going to be here. My thing at the end of the day is I want to give people valuable information. And there's a lot of people at the end of the day on YouTube, like myself, that do give valuable information that have a good following. I just got back on YouTube, to be real with y'all. So I do want you to understand, watch me take off. Just watch me work. Just watch me work. If you think this ain't the space for me, all I'm going to say is just watch me work and you're going to see what's going to happen. Because at the end of the day, I do feel like I'm a unique space in this area. And I do think at the end of the day, people need to hear this type of information. Once again, a great example, what makes me different than most trainers. I actually garden. A lot of people don't know that. I actually garden. I don't show a lot of this on the tube, but once again, I do show this on TikTok, so you can actually scroll and see what I do. Me and my family actually do have a garden. We actually do grow our own food and things to that nature. I do try to get people to understand, once again, I'm not a bodybuilder. I may look like a bodybuilder, but I also try to get people to understand I look how I look because of how I train and how I source for my nutrition. And I understand that a lot of people think that supplements is the perfect way to go. Not saying there's anything wrong with supplements, but I do want people to understand that you can acquire a phenomenal physique like myself if you know what to do. And my biggest thing is, as a trainer, I'm gonna teach you how to get it done. It says I'm pretty lean. I'm pretty lean. I just have a lot of fat near my stomach area. That means you have a higher body fat percentage. So that means we need to tighten up on our nutrition for starts. So whatever you eating is one of the reasons why the body fat percentage is the way it is. So we do need to tighten up on our eating. That's one thing I would recommend. If you're not incorporating any type of resistance training, this is something that can actually help reduce the stomach area. Something I went over a little bit earlier to kind of break down again is one, this is 5 pounds of fat. This is 5 pounds of muscle. At the end of the day, most people don't realize everybody has a six pack. Everybody has a six pack. The only thing that be stopping you from seeing your fixed six pack is the body fat percentage. As you can see, 5 pounds is 5 pounds, however you weigh it on the scale. But this is going to actually take away from that definition that you're looking for at the end of the day. So what are we going to do? We're going to focus on reducing the body fat. How are we going to focus on reducing the body fat? But before we go into how we're going to focus on reducing the body fat, I want to show you this small example. You see, as we go higher in the chart, what do you see? Less and less definition. But when we go lower in the chart, look at the difference between 30% and 15%. It's a drastic difference. That's a drastic difference. That's a drastic difference. And one thing that you can start doing, well, a few things you can start doing to actually effectively drop the body fat percentage is, one, you want to incorporate both resistance training and cardio. It's something I do on a regular basis. One way to incorporate these things is find things that you enjoy. Find things that you enjoy. So a good example is I enjoy pickleball. I enjoy basketball. These are things that allow me to effectively challenge myself in these areas cardiovascularly. And I also love lifting weights. Lifting weights is one of my things. I want you to understand, no, I'm not a person that does calisthenics. I get that question all the time. I lift weights. I've been, within the past 2-3 months, I've been doing a lot of machine work. I've been doing a lot of machines overall. So you can acquire a nice physique from doing machines. I don't know why people think machines are just for beginners. It says cardio, I do have to start doing that. He said maybe. I highly suggest cardio because you do want to make sure you have a healthy heart. People don't realize how important cardio is. You don't have to, and this is the thing. When you do it, like I said, try to find something that you actually enjoy, so it's a point you can be a lot more consistent with. I see so many people that don't like running, but if you do something that can actually keep you active and keep you moving, then guess what? Before you know it, 30 minutes, 45 minutes, an hour go by before you know it. Another reason why I personally choose basketball. Basketball is one of my favorites. It's so easy for me to move and groove on the floor instead of just focusing on running up the hill, running back down the hill. And I also want people to understand, when you consistently do cardio or weightlifting, things become easier. When people fall off, they get upset about their starting point and they feel some type of way to a point they don't realize that if you consistently do it, you'll get better at it. The objective of fitness is to make your lifestyle overall that much easier. Imagine how much your life will be easier if you incorporated cardio. I try to get people to understand that cardio is an end-all be-all though, mainly for those who are actually trying to lose weight, because at the end of the day, when you do excessive amounts of cardio and you're not doing enough resistance training, you put yourself at risk of actually burning the muscle that you actually want to keep. A lot of people don't realize you want to retain as much muscle as you possibly can that you already have. This is another reason why nutrition is going to be important, because nutrition is not only going to help you reduce the body fat that you want to reduce, but it's also going to allow you to keep a lot of the muscle that you already have. The more muscle you have, do understand one thing, you'll be able to burn calories from doing absolutely nothing. People forget this. For every 1 pound of muscle that you have, it gives you the opportunity to burn about 25 to 50 calories per day at rest. Doesn't sound a lot when we think about 1 pound, but just imagine you having 10 pounds of muscle. For every 10 pounds of muscle, you can actually burn anywhere between 200 to 500 calories per day at rest. And remember, this is from doing absolutely nothing. As I always say, does anybody have a friend that's in great shape and you see them eat crazy And you're like, how in the same hell are they able to look this good? But every time I see them, they're eating fast food, they're eating this. It's because they actually have a little bit of muscle, which allows them to burn calories from not doing anything. So do understand they'll be able to burn some of those meals that they really shouldn't be eating off. It says the experience and the information. It says, where did you get that from? I'm a certified personal trainer. So like I said, I've been doing this for a while. I'm not an influencer, by the way. And throughout the years of me being certified from multiple certifications, NASM, ISSA, AAAI, just to name a few, like I said, I'm not new to this, I'm true to this. You can do your own research if you don't believe me at the end of the day. But once again, like I said, as you can see, I'm an example of my own work. Like I said, I don't take protein shakes, I don't take creatine. So what I'm saying must work at the end of the day. I'm not making this up at the end of the day. And like I said, I've been training since 2009. So this is not a one-time situation where I just started doing this and I'm into fitness, or for me, you know what I'm saying, I'm 20 years old and I got a lot of time on my hands. Or I'm 34. I have 3 children. So I do want you to understand, I practice what I preach, mainly because I charge a hell of a lot when it comes down to my training. I have clients that pay for once a week, $500 a month. I have clients that train with me 4 times a week that pay $1,400 a month. So I do want you to understand, I'm not just shooting shit. I know what I'm talking about, and these people pay on time, and they've been working with your boy for a while, just to be clear. He said, I'm just amazed. Nah, I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Like I said, I'm new to jumping on this. Like I was posting before I had my son. I was posting a lot. I was posting a lot on it too before I had my son. But I want you to understand, I'm back. My son's 1 now. It's a little bit easier for me to move. Life kind of got ahead of me because I had 2 car accidents back to back within the past few years. Those are the only injuries I personally ever accumulated. And also, for those who do not know, once again, I've been training since 2009, and throughout this process, I've had trainers, anywhere between 6 to 18 trainers at a time, depending on what location I was at. So I'd like you all to understand that I'm not an influencer. I'm someone who actually has been doing this for a long time. Like I'm very passionate about fitness. And my biggest thing is I want people to get in shape. I want people to be healthy. I want your lifestyles and your life to be that much easier at the end of the day. It says, I only play Muay Thai, but my body is, nah, so you doing Muay Thai, I want you to understand, you're active. You're active. And the fact that you're doing Muay Thai, I'm going to be real with you, I wouldn't really tamper with the weights. I wouldn't tamper with the weights. Allow yourself to get better with your skills. Allow yourself to get better with skills. When you're in mixed martial arts, with boxing, things to that nature, do understand lifting heavy or lifting an substantial amount of weight, it can throw off your hand speed, your timing, and things like that. I experienced that when I actually played pickleball towards the end of the week. So say, for example, Thursday and Friday, because I do strength train the entire week. I strength train, resistance training, strength training, whatever you want to call it. I do that 5 times a week. So me personally, I will admit, my timing is off by the time Thursday and Friday come around. Thursday and Friday, so many times I thought I was hitting the ball and the ball just flew right past me or hit me on the top of my head because my timing is off, because I'm not registering. My body is not, I'm not going to say registering, but my body is processing the workouts that I put it through, so my timing and hand speed is off. I have one of my best friends was actually not a professional boxer, was trying to go professional. And I used to go back and forth with him because I've always lift weights. And for him, he didn't really lift weights. And he used to always be like, man, like, you don't realize, like, lifting weights throw you off and da-da-da-da. So, you know, I trained with him a couple times, and I realized, I'm like, I'm not going to lie, it throws you off, mainly when you lifting weights. Doing little things that's like 5 pounds, 10 pounds, the body will get acclimated too fast. But if it's a point that you kind of cranking weight like myself, you're going to see a big difference. You're going to see a big difference. So do understand at the end of the day. Oh, while we're here, remember, I want you to drop questions if you have questions about anything. If you have questions about anything fitness related, just drop your questions, because I am going to go over a lot of stuff to kind of point you in the right direction. I want to point you in the right direction. Like I said, I'm not an influencer. I've been doing this for quite some time. And I do always tell people, as a trainer, your first client is yourself. You are representation of your skills and what you can do. And as you can see, look what I do. I've been doing this for quite some time. Even when I wasn't working out like that, I'm gonna be real with you. I was still in tip-top shape because I was on top of my nutrition. Mainly when I had to go through all that physical therapy and I wasn't able to lift the way that I generally lift. Because me personally, I like to crank weight. Example, I like to do pull-ups. If I can do, I need to get back to 245 plates. I haven't been able to do that since my car accident. Another thing I used to be able to do, my highest weight as far as squatting was 365 pounds. Right now, I'm doing box squats at 315. I'm going to be real with you. I can't do 315 for 10 or 15 reps of box squats like I did before. I actually used to do 315 easy. I'm talking about super, super low with the reps. Like I said, you can see my content. I post exactly what I do. The only thing I don't post is what I eat at the end of the day because I don't want to get people confused. And I go the extra mile because I am a gardener. I grow my own food. Me and my family, we grow our own fruits and vegetables. Like right now, we're growing eggplants, we're growing watermelon, we're growing kale, we're growing lettuce. We got romaine lettuce. We have another type, I can't think of it off the top. We're growing beets, we're growing onions. We have a raspberry bush, just to give you a glimpse of what I do. It says, you're a good man trying to do something for others in their life too as well. I'm here just an advice. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I've been in great shape damn near all my life. My objective is because now that I'm seeing so many people get out of shape, I see so many people get out of shape. I'm in the Maryland area, by the way. I see so many people get out of shape because things are getting tricky with the food. That's another reason why me and my family decided to put things in our own hands and start our own garden, because the labels and everything is getting tricky. A lot of these brands will start off saying they're doing this, they'll get sold to another company, and then the company will switch what they're doing. So for me, I just try to get people more aware about what they're getting into and try to get people to understand you can acquire the physique that you want. You just have to be consistent and have a system in play that's going to allow you, once, to stay consistent, which is generally built through discipline. Matter of fact, if you really want to stay consistent, I always tell people, find your X factor. Your X factor is going to keep you motivated as hell when things don't work in your favor. Have a short-term goal, have a long-term goal. Make sure all of your goals are very realistic. That's going to be very important. Most people don't realize they set unrealistic goals when it comes down to their fitness needs and with their fitness wants. Like a good example is you might want to lift 405 pounds, and right now you can barely lift 315. I think that's an astronomical goal at the moment because you don't even know if your body can handle that type of weight. You know what I mean? Another thing could be you might want to lose weight, but you want to lose an astronomical amount of weight in a small amount of time, but not realizing that within you trying to lose this weight, it took you years to put it on. So if it took you 2 years to put on 60 plus pounds, why are we trying to force our bodies to lose 30 pounds in a month? You get where I'm going? I try to help people set realistic goals and give them real information, because I feel like on social media there's so much misinformation because people don't realize there are people that are in great shape that are extremely unhealthy or don't even know how they got in shape. That's one thing. Another thing is there's so much misinformation as far as how to go about things, but people fail to realize there's so many different ways to get in shape in general as well. A great example is a tennis player doesn't train like a football player. Their workouts are completely different, but that doesn't take away from the tennis players being in shape. That doesn't take away from a football player being in shape. There's so many different ways to get in shape, and I try to get people to understand that at the end of the day. Another reason why I always preach, if you want to stay consistent, find things that you truly enjoy. It's so much easier to get in shape and maintain shape if you find things that you enjoy. Also, I always recommend do it for you. I see so many people that want to get in shape because they just lost their job. What's going to happen when you get a job? You're going to fall out of shape again? So many people that want to get in shape because they want to find their person. But then when you find your person, guess what happens? You fall out of shape again if your person don't really care for little things like that. So I always try to get people to understand health is very important. And the beautiful thing about working on your health and working on yourself, you'll be able to perform at high levels mentally and physically. Because people don't realize with fitness, a lot of this is a mental game. You got to really think about it. When you're getting under crazy weight that you weren't able to handle, it's a mental game. You got to be mentally prepared to be able to do that. You know what I'm saying? It's to try to do some research for the true belief and a true religion and a real goal of life. I feel it. I feel it. I feel it. I always say too. Another reason why I say work on your fitness and improvement is because of for real. I think everybody needs God at the end of the day. Mainly when what I see on social media. And so many times I jump on social media, and as much as I'm giving positive information and giving you things that can help you improve yourself, so crazy how much crazy stuff you see in the comments. It's funny that you say that. I honestly, I don't talk about this a lot, but I do think a lot of people need God. But we're not gonna go back and forth about that right now. We're gonna talk more about fitness. You get what I mean? We're gonna talk more about fitness, even though God is a very important aspect of each and everybody's life. You know what I'm saying? But do understand, the more you stick with it, the more you stay consistent with it, the more you understand what works for you, the easier it is for you not only to build the body that you want, it's so easy to maintain the body that you want. Like, I want you to understand, you don't need the extra. So many people think they need the extra. They think they need the extra. I need to drink this. I need to do this. I need to do this exercise in order to get. You have to make sure you're effectively building the entire body. That's one thing I always try to get people to understand. Mainly when it comes down to little things like, what's the best chest exercise? It's not necessarily the best chest exercise. One thing for starts you want to do is be very intentional with your workouts. So a good example is, if you have a program that's asking you to do 3 sets of 12, I highly recommend at the end of the day, if the objective is 12 reps, if you notice you can do 6 more reps when we get to 12, that just means the weight is too light. We need to add some more weight. If it's a point that, once again, we're trying to do 12 reps, and if we notice at the end of the day we're only able to do 6, that's an indicator that the weight is too heavy. But I also want you to understand that within the process of you working out, you need to take your body through phases. We're doing this to be able to do this. So month 1 is focusing on getting conditioned, right? Month 1 and month 2 can be focused on getting conditioned, despite how deconditioned you may be. It's a small amount of sugar, fine, if you want to lose weight. I always say, if you want to lose weight, do understand sugar's going to tax you regardless. So I would say cut it out, and then also understand that there's different qualities. There's different qualities of sugar. High fructose syrup is one of the cheapest forms of sugar, but raw cane sugar is, at the end of the day, a quality sugar. But too much of sugar anyways ain't gonna do nothing but store fat, mainly if it's a scenario where you're not being able to work this off. So do understand how much sugar you intake is gonna be relative to your exercise activity. Because you're gonna see little things like, if you watch like cyclists, right? Cyclists, you might see them biking, and they might be 40 miles in their tour, and you see them crushing a Coke, but they're using the sugar to actually give them a little bit of energy to sustain what? The cycling activity. So do understand, everything does serve its purpose, but generally if you're trying to lose weight, 9 out of 10, if you have a sugar problem, do understand we need to cut back on that sugar. We need to cut back on that sugar. Why are we toying with things that we know that may be taking us away from our goals? And this is another reason why I say, actually pay a lot more attention to the foods that you eat, because one of the issues with sugar in general is that there's a lot of sugar in more foods than you may think nowadays. That's one thing I want you to understand. There's a lot more people at the end of the day that may be consuming more sugar than they actually think. This is another reason why I always say this at the end of the day. Do me a favor and make sure at the end of the day, if you haven't done this already, use something like MyFitnessPal and actually log in your foods to actually see how much sugar or sodium that you're consuming. You know what I mean? That's something that's going to make a tremendous difference when it comes down to it. You feel me? It's going to make a tremendous difference. Tremendous difference. But yeah, at the end of the day, I want you to understand, you can get more out of what you want, for starts, if you stay consistent. And one of the easiest way to stay consistent, we talked about this earlier, is find your X factor. I want you to find your X factor. What is your reason why? Why are you doing this? Why is this so important for you? So for me, when I first started my fitness journey, I started at 125 pounds. A lot of you may not know, I started off at 125 pounds. So my biggest thing was, at the end of the day, for me, I was like, you know what? I'm tired of being skinny. It's not another outfit that I can buy that can make me feel different. Cause I do always say this. People think that when you're small and you're trying to gain weight, it's the same thing as somebody trying to lose weight. We always generally want the opposite of what we really are. And for me, I'm not gonna lie, I was extremely skinny at the end of the day. So for me personally, I was like, you know what? Let me do something to make a drastic change. I already played baseball and I played soccer. I played those since I was young. I played those since I was 2.5 growing up. I kid you not. It may sound crazy, but I actually have played those for a very long time. But for me, I didn't lift weights. I didn't first start lifting weights until I graduated high school in 2008. That's the first time I actually started lifting weights. And when I started lifting weights, the first year, to be quite honest with you, I didn't see the improvements or the changes that I wanted. But for me, when I first started my journey, I wasn't like, damn, like, why didn't I get what I want? I actually didn't even know what to expect. So what it made me do is dig and get more information on what to do to achieve the body that I wanted, even though I didn't even know what I really wanted. Because if I wanted to be 100% real with you all, I never even thought I would be this in shape. I didn't think I would be. I never planned to be as in greatest shape that I am now. And this is another reason why I do feel like this is one of my callings. And this is why I've been training for so long. Is because I noticed that as time went on, the food started getting trickier. On top of that, a lot of people are just overweight, high body fat percentage. We're seeing a lot of heart attack, diabetes, high cholesterol. All of these health problems are coming in. But I also try to get people to understand, because people miss this. My mom is a nurse and my dad was military. So those things combined just made it that much easier for me. I never grew up with a crazy diet. I appreciate you tapping that screen, by the way. I appreciate you tapping that screen. I never grew up and ate out every day. So when I grew up and got on my own and I was eating out, I already knew that wasn't for me. My mom, the only time we ate out growing up, we ate out one time a week on Saturdays. That's it. And if we had a phenomenal week, my mom might take us to Potbelly's or something on a Sunday after church. That's it. Outside of that, I didn't eat out all the time. Now I'm starting to see eating out is a norm for a lot of people, which is unacceptable. Eating out is expensive, you all. I try to get people to understand eating out is expensive, mainly when I hear people complain about eating being so expensive. No, eating out is expensive. So if you somebody that's right now that's eating out every day, twice a day, every other day, we're already moving in the wrong direction. We're already moving in the wrong direction. You shouldn't be eating out every day. And this is another reason why a lot of people are gaining an enormous amount of weight in a small amount of time, because a lot of foods nowadays are highly processed. They're processed because one, they're cheaper, and then two, it's a lot easier for these things to taste good. That's another reason why I always try to recommend, make sure you're reading the ingredients and understand the restaurant or fast food establishment that you're purchasing your foods from to understand what you're really getting. Do your research on these places. I want y'all to do your research on these places, and you'll be able to understand a lot of what you should be doing and what you shouldn't be doing at the end of the day. Remember, while we're here, I know I'm giving you a lot of game. Make sure you drop your questions if you do have questions. I always like to be transparent. I don't like to just talk, because I feel like I might be talking and you might not be picking up everything that I'm saying. And I do want to make sure, because everybody goals are different. Some people might be on a live and want to talk about gaining weight. Some people might be on a live and want to talk about losing weight. So I want to make sure I'm talking to each individual to make sure I'm giving you the information that works best for you. When I jump on live, like I said, this is one of the best times to be transparent with me, because I'm going to be transparent with you at the end of the day. And I want to make sure you're getting real information, no gimmicks. I'm not selling you no supplements. I'm not telling you to click the button right here and buy this program. I'm being real with you. If you buy a program with me and you want to work with me as a certified personal trainer or not, it is what it is. I just want to make sure you're getting at least a little bit of information that can help you build the body that you've been wanting to acquire. And I'm going to be real with you. I learned how to get in shape on the internet from a lot of free information, and implementing this free information to see if it works for me, if it doesn't work for me. And I want to give you the same thing. That's another reason why I post on all these different platforms, just to make sure you get a full understanding of what you can do and how to do it. But like I said, there's so many different ways to get in shape. My biggest thing is, I just want you to understand it's achievable for you too. Because I do feel like sometimes when people see a body like mine, it's kind of like, damn, like, can I get like him, or what is he doing to get like that? And I try to get people to understand it's not about what I'm doing to get like this. It's what are you doing to get your body? What are you doing to get your body? What are you doing to get your body? Because at the end of the day, what I eat doesn't make you shit, and what you eat doesn't make me shit. And then we all have different digestive systems. Everybody's digestive system is completely different. That's another reason why what I'm eating may not work for you. It may be a point that it makes you bloated. It may be a point that it makes your stomach hurt, whatever the case may be. Same concept of someone that has to consume gluten-free and compared to someone who can consume gluten. Everybody's digestive system is completely different. You might even be a vegan. You might be plant-based, whatever the case may be. Everybody eats different, but my objective at the end of the day is just to make sure you're getting information that you can utilize, like I said, to build your body. Let's stop using this genetics excuse. Everybody loves to get on here because, oh, it's just genetics, D. You got genetics. No. If you worked as hard as I have over the years, you will have a body like mine, if not better. If not better. I work out at gyms all the time, and I'm going to be honest with you. 80% of the people that I see at gyms are not working out hard enough to get the results that they're looking for. They're not. They're scrolling on their phones, they're relaxing, they're following someone else's program, and they're not addressing their imbalances. That's one thing I need you to understand too. If you're just starting to work out, you have to address the fact that you're deconditioned. You got to get conditioned first. You got to get conditioned first. That's another reason why I always say, don't just do what someone else is doing. You can't compare your year 1 to somebody year 15. You can't. You can't. I've been doing this for a long time. Even if I was to stop working out, which I did over the past 2 years outside of physical therapy, I was still in great shape because I've actually spent so much time over the years working out. And the only reason why I had to take time off working out is because I've accumulated a few injuries from car accidents over the past few years. I had a car accident December 2023, and then I got in another car accident that had me get a concussion, threw my lower back out, and some more stuff, you know what I'm saying, as of July 2024. So it took a little bit of time for me to really get back. And I'm going to be honest with you, that was more of a mental battle than I've ever experienced when it came down to even lifting any type of weight. But I also like you all to understand that getting in shape is more mental than it is physical. It's more mental than it is physical. And how you start is not how you're going to finish. When I first started my fitness journey, I want you to understand. I could barely lift the barbell. So someone trying to criticize me at me talking about benching 225 is heavy, you're not clowning me. I started my fitness journey, and when I first started lifting weights, I'm telling you right now, I was barely able to do 15 reps with a 45-pound bar. I'm just keeping it real with you. So I want you to understand it's not how you start, it's how you finish. If you put in the work and you stay consistent, you can build a body. You can build a nice body. I'm telling you right now, it's all about trial and error. Make the necessary adjustments, and I'm telling you right now, you will see a significant difference. I don't want you to think that, oh, because I got great results month 1 and results are starting to seem like they're stagnating month 2, I'm doing something wrong. It's not that you're doing something wrong. Your body is smart. Your body is very intelligent. Your body is trying to memorize everything that you're putting it through to make your life and lifestyle that much easier when you throw it at it again. Do understand that? That's another reason why it's that much harder to get in shape, because you have to completely know how to have to know how to consistently shock the body to consistently get great results. You can get great results, once again, as long as you stay consistent. And this is another reason why, once again, I always say find out what your X factor is. Why is it so important for you to get in shape now? And do it for you. Don't do it for the opportunity of talking to this person, or this person might notice you, or you notice that you lost your job so you got free time now. Do it because you want to improve on self and make this a lifestyle change. Make this a lifestyle change. You'll see a significant difference in your physique. A significant difference. If I had the mindset of I wanted my chest to look like this person when I first started, I wouldn't even be nowhere close to where I am right now. When I first started my fitness journey, the first thing I said to myself is, let me see what I can get out of the time that I put in. And let me be very intentional with the time that I put in, because I want to get in great shape. You can get in great shape too, once again. You just have to put in the work. Don't let anything distract you. Life is always going to be there. I want you all to understand. I have 3 children. I'm in great shape. So if you somebody that don't have no kids, why are you not in shape? You got plenty of time. You got plenty of time. Plenty of time. No excuses. No excuses. I have 3 businesses that I got to still manage. Personal training is my #1 income. I'm not going to sit here and fake on that. But I do have other business ventures that I indulge in that help me get paid. But do understand one thing. That doesn't take me away from getting my workout in. That doesn't make this not a priority. And I made this a priority not because of the benefits of nice abs or nice chest or nice arms. It was more for the mental. I'm a grown man. I'm going to be real with you. I'm a grown ass man. And for me personally, it's more for mental health than anything. Being prepared for life. You never know what life might throw at you. I even said, to be honest with you, the car accident that I experienced last year, around this time, it's approaching a year. It's approaching a year. Around this time last year that I experienced, when I got my concussion that really threw me off, I'm so thankful that I was already in great shape, because I do feel like that was something that protected me. My body was already strong enough to handle some of the impact. If I was real frail, small like I used to be, I honestly think I probably wouldn't be here. I'm going to be honest with you, I don't think I would be here. But because I already prepped my body from the resistance training, the cardio, all the working out, the eating healthy, guess what happened? I'm able to be here right now. Because just to be clear, the car accident I was going through a yellow light. Someone T-boned me and took me straight into a pole. Straight into a pole. And the pole fell on my car. So I want you to understand one thing. Getting in shape is not just for, a nice chest, nice arms. That's a bonus. If you stay consistent, you'll reap the benefits. If you stay consistent, you'll reap the benefits. There's so many other things that are beneficial. Being able to have energy to run around with your kids, I love that. Being able to pick my daughters and my son up in 2 arms and just put them in the car with ease, little stuff like that. It makes life that much more easier. My kids even love the fact that my kids think I'm a damn action figure for real. So I want you to understand, there's so many benefits to getting in great shape. And do understand, mainly for my parents out there, do understand, if you eating crazy, your kids are going to follow suit. I see this all the time. One of my clients sad to say, at a very young age, had a heart attack from eating crazy. And that was their wake-up call of like, I don't want my kids to go through what I went through. I probably wouldn't even, I'm blessed to be here. So now the fact that I'm here, let me make the adjustments. Once again, there's so many benefits to being in great shape outside of just nice arms, nice legs, and a chest, nice back. It's so many other benefits. Mainly if you have children, I want you to understand, your children are looking up to you. They're watching what you're doing. They're following your footsteps. If you saying it's okay to eat these things, they're going to eat them too. That's another reason why, once again, how many personal trainers do you know on live actually got soil to the ground and gardening? I garden. It shows you how serious I am about food. It shows you how serious I am about what I put in my body. Don't get me wrong. I still enjoy myself, but am I eating the craziness every day? No, because I understand the effects that it has to the body. I understand that. Remember, while we're here, if you have questions, do not be shy. Do not be shy. Drop your questions if you got questions. Because once again, I know I'm going over a lot of information. I just want to educate my people to make the right decisions. Once again, in 2025, things are getting more trickier as days go in. You got to understand how to read the labels. These things are important. It's another reason why I say it. Read the ingredients. Don't just focus on the labels. People always ask me, what do I do when it comes down to eating? The only reason why I don't really talk about it a lot, because I hear people complain about it so much. Oh, red snapper fish is expensive per pound. I'm buying red snapper. I'm not just eating salmon all damn day. It's so many other types of fish that you can consume other than just salmon. You get where I'm going? I understand the different cuts of the cow. Filet mignon is not the same as porterhouse or New York strip. I understand these things. I understand the benefits to a point that for me, I'm not relying on supplements. Remember, even when it comes down to supplements, supplements should only be what's lacking thereof of your daily nutrition. I do feel like people become dependable as if the supplement is what's really building the body. It's not. The supplement is not building the body. I appreciate the roses. I appreciate the roses. So do understand at the end of the day, you can get more of what you want as long as you understand the basics. It's all about understanding the basics, all about understanding the fundamentals. Do you know what fruits and vegetables are in season right now? That's going to be important. I appreciate the roses. You know what I'm saying? These things are going to be far more important than anything. They're going to be far more important than anything. The more you understand, the easier it is for you to navigate in this world. The more you understand about how to eat, where to shop, what fruits and vegetables are in season. Talk about this all the time. The average person doesn't even know what fruits and vegetables are in season. This is going to dictate price points. If it's generally in season, it's of abundance. It's going to be a lot cheaper. If it's not in season, generally it's getting shipped or it's coming from somewhere. So do understand that. Appreciate the roses again. So I want you to understand you can get more of what you want if you understand a lot of the basics. And I want to help you understand the basics. I want to help you understand the fundamentals. I've been doing this for a long time. I've been in great shape. And I plan on being in great shape all my life. I don't plan on stop working out. You get what I mean? I don't plan on stop working out. I don't plan on not training. I'm going to train for the rest of my life. I'm always going to be a trainer. I'm always going to be a trainer. I'm always going to have clients that I want to get in shape. And I do feel like once I hit 40, I'm going to be working with people that's 40. Once I hit 50, I'm going to be working with people that's 50. Right now, as at the age of 34, my oldest client is 84 years old. My oldest client is 84 years old. So I want you to understand you can get a lot more of what you want. You just have to understand how to go about it. You got to understand how to go about it. You got to understand how to shop. You got to understand what to eat. You got to understand how to train. You got to understand how to maximize your rest. Once again, I can teach you a lot of these strategies. I've been doing it for years. I can teach you a lot of these strategies. Think about this. I have 3 children under the age of 5. It didn't affect my physique at all. And it's not because I'm training 6-7 days a week. It has nothing to do with that. It's because I've always made my health and fitness a priority. But my thing is, I'm starting to notice when it comes down to fitness, there's starting to be a miss when it comes down to health. There's a lot of people that's talking fitness, and you're not trying to be healthy. They're saying take this, drink this, drink this. And it's not talking about health, it's talking about fitness. Fitness, the objective of fitness is to benefit your health. I thought that was the whole point of working out. I thought the whole point of fitness was to benefit your health. It's not just to do it. Like I said, if you stay consistent, it's that much easier to maintain what you want. It's so much easier. So much easier. So many people miss this. It's so much easier to maintain what you want. You just have to know how to go about it and what strategy you should be using. Another reason why I always break down the fundamentals. I always break down these fundamentals. A great example. Right here. This is 5 pounds of fat. 5 pounds of muscle. Regardless of how you slice and dice it. Regardless of how you slice and dice it. 5 pounds is 5 pounds. 5 pounds of chicken, 5 pounds of rice, we put on the scale, it's just going to say 5 pounds. So I do need you to understand, if you can't see your 6-pack, we got to get rid of a lot of this. A lot of this is in the way. If you can't see your 6-pack, a lot of this is in the way. How are we going to do this? We're going to tighten up on our nutrition. We're going to tighten up on our recovery. We're going to tighten up on our training. That's all we got to do. Don't overcomplicate this. We got to tighten up on our nutrition. We got to tighten up on our training. And we need to tighten up on our recovery. Another thing I always try to get people to understand. The higher your body fat percentage. You see all this red? All this red? You know what this does? It puts you at risk of heart attack, diabetes, high cholesterol. A lot of trainers not getting here on showing you this. Y'all just want to know what exercise can I do to build a nice chest. No, we're going to talk about health when we jump on live. We're going to talk about health when we jump on live. This is more important. If you hear You need to get into this green. This green is reducing the risk of heart attack, diabetes, high cholesterol. And last time I checked, those are the things that are getting scary now. Those percentages keep jumping up. I'm seeing more and more people in an obese state. This is another reason why understanding this small information is far more important. It's not just about having ripped arms and ripped shoulders. If you have a high body fat percentage, we shouldn't be worried about no damn arms anyway. We shouldn't be worried about no chest anyway. We need to worry about trying to drop this body fat percentage down. Once we start getting into that green, mainly when we go lower in the green, then we can start customizing the body the way that we want. We shouldn't be trying to customize the body when we all the way up here. And I see so many people that want to do that. D, man, I want the six pack. You already have a six pack. The only thing that's stopping you from seeing your six pack is the body fat percentage. And the only way we're gonna get the body fat percentage down is from effectively resistance training, implementing effective resistance training, implementing effective cardio, maximizing your recovery, and making sure we eat the right things. We gotta eat the right things. I don't want you to fall a victim and think that, oh, if I pop this pill, it's easy for me to drop 50. That's not how that works. I try to get people to understand. This is another reason why I always tell people, don't fall a victim to these crash diets. Because if you still haven't understand a lot of the basics, you're going to end up right back where you were before. How many of us have fasted, dropped 15 pounds, and once we got off the fast, it seemed like now we got to take off 17 pounds. It's because you still haven't built a better relationship with food. The stronger your relationship with food is, the easier it is for you to be able to get what you want with ease. With ease. With ease. You just worried about the wrong things at the wrong time. You shouldn't be worried about your arms if we all the way up here. Let's keep it real. To be honest with you, you don't even need to be doing isolation movements unless you're just lacking a lot of strength to be able to do some of the compound movements like push-ups or things of that nature. But instead of that, focus on the basics. The basics build the foundation. I want you to understand the basics build the foundation. Don't go to the gym and work out hard 5 days a week and then crash out on the weekends. That's another reason why I'm on live this weekend. I'm on live to get you to understand, hey, if you was thinking about going to brunch tomorrow, cut it out. Cut it out. Why are you spending money when you already in debt? That's how you got to look at fitness, man. If you $2,000 in debt, and you make $2,000, I do want you to understand you're officially at zero. You cleared your debt, that's it. But why are we going to make $2,000 to spend the $2,000 on the weekend? It don't make sense. We right back where we started, and I see so many people do that. Oh, I'm training with you, D. I'm working way harder than what I ever did before. But that doesn't necessarily mean you should be eating what you're eating. And once again, I'm not saying that you can't enjoy the things that you want to enjoy. It's not what I'm saying. Chick-fil-A is one of my favorite restaurants. I used to eat Chick-fil-A all the time. Do I eat it every day? No, because I understand the cons of eating that every day. I'm going to easily be able to build a stomach with ease. It's greasy food. It's harder for the body to break this down and process this. And a lot of the times when we're eating something that's deep fried, there's no nutrients any damn way. So I need us to be more realistic about a lot of decisions that we're making when it comes down to our health. Mainly when it comes down to longevity. I'm 34 years old. I'm going to talk about longevity all the time. I understand that I can't train the same way as I was training when I was 20. I got to be smart. I got to be strategic. I got to listen to my body. I got to know when to scale back. I'm giving it a little too much. Because do understand, the worst thing to do is get injured because there's no telling how long it's going to take you to recover. We don't want to outwork the body. And that's what a lot of people try to do when they're out of shape. They want to train 7 days a week, but then they got subpar nutrition because they feel as though they should only eat one time a day. If you're gonna train your body very intensely, you got to look at it like gas. If I was to drive 120 miles an hour, don't I need to fill up a lot quicker than me just doing cruising, doing 40, 45? Aren't I going to have to get gas sooner than later if I'm driving that fast? So that should go to show you are going to have to tailor your nutrition if you're training very intensely. One meal a day is not going to be enough because I'm telling you right now, I've been there, done that. Body aching happens. And these are signs that, hey, I'm letting you know something about to happen. You're increasing the chance of you getting injured. You're not eating enough. You get what I'm saying? Little things like you working out and you running, you not sweating. That's an indicator you need water. Your body can't even cool itself off. Mainly since we get in the summertime. You have to be aware of these little things. But I want you to understand, you don't need to do all of this without, you don't need to do all of that by popping a pill. You don't need to get it, you don't need to build muscle from taking creatine or chugging a protein shake. I always tell people this all the time. You don't even really need protein for the most part. What you really need is vegetables. Because the average person is not consuming enough vegetables. As much as people don't want to hear it, it's facts. It's facts. It's facts. A lot of people can't even name but like 1 or 2 vegetables they consume throughout the course of a week. But they so worried about protein. And then we do need to understand too much protein at the end of the day is putting so much wear and tear on your kidneys. Let's keep it a buck. Like I said, I want y'all to understand, I'm going to talk about the health part, not just the body. The body is going to be easy if you follow my fundamentals. You acquiring a body is going to be easier if you follow on the fundamentals that I'm putting down. I want you to understand that. It's going to be 1, 2, 3. Your abs going to be popping out before you know it. If you follow the fundamentals, making sure you maximize your recovery. Recovery is key. Maximize your recovery. Recovery is key. On top of that, do understand the exercises that you're picking is what's building your body. That's what's building your body. Because you know what the exercise is doing? It's breaking the body down. And then guess what? When you give the body enough sleep and the proper nutrition, what's going to happen? It's going to be able to rebuild and repair itself. And it's going to come back better than ever. That's the only way my chest looks like how it looks. I'm making sure I nourish my body properly. Because if not, guess what's going to happen? My body's going to eat away the muscle. Mainly if I'm doing a crap ton of cardio. You get where I'm going? It's another reason why I tell people all the time that want to lose weight, don't just focus on doing cardio. If you focus on just doing cardio, you know what's going to happen? You're going to start burning some of the muscle that you want to keep. We don't want to burn muscle. We want to keep as much muscle as we possibly have. Everybody has muscle. There's no way you living right now if you ain't got muscle. Everybody has muscle. How much muscle you have is relevant to how much resistance training you're doing. And you don't have to overcomplicate things. I see so many people on a regular basis. How many days should I train? How many days should I train? How many days do you have available to train? How many days can you make this a priority? Or how many hours should I work out in the gym? You don't need to work out for 4 or 5 hours in the gym. If you got 15 minutes, knock it out. You got 30 minutes, knock it out. My objective is the world is your gym. It's about being active throughout the day. Little things like taking 10,000 steps is something that I use on a regular basis. I'm on top of my 10,000 steps. If it's a point that I want to cut a little bit of weight, I might do 15,000 steps a day. That's when I don't care about how much cardio I'm doing. I'm just looking at it through the steps. All right, I know I'm at 15,000 steps. It is what it is. If it's a point that I want to gain a little bit more weight, I might cut back on my steps. You get what I mean? So do understand these things are small things that you can do to easily get 1% better every day. But don't overcomplicate it. Don't try to follow someone else's diet because you've seen them do this or they look like this, and then you really can't even see their body. You know how many people I see keep doing these fasts? That's so unnecessary. So unnecessary. If you're doing it for spiritual reasons, I get it. It is what it is. If you're doing fasting for spiritual reasons, but do understand you don't have to starve your body in order to get in great shape. And generally, if you starve your body to try to get in great shape, do understand your body's not going to look like it's in great shape. It's going to look like shit. I'm going to just be honest with you. I'm just going to be honest with you. I've been there, done that. I've tried everything you try to do 1,000 times. I used to eat, I tried a diet of eating fast food every day. Didn't work out for me. I tried it. Been there, done that. I tried it. It didn't work for me. So I want you to understand you can get more of what you want. You just have to know how to go about it. You can get so much more of what you want. You have to know how to go about it. And I don't want, like I said, I'm not on here. I don't take any sports enhancement, drugs, anything like. I don't do none of that. I don't take no creatine. Have I taken it before? I'm gonna be honest with you. No. Be honest with you. No. I get the creatine. No, I take that back. I actually had it in I didn't even realize it was in a pre-workout that I brought. It was a pre-workout from GNC. It was like lit as AF. and I didn't realize it had monohydrate in it, and I was already like 10 servings in. So I have done pre-workout before. I used to drink energy drinks. I don't do any of that anymore. I don't drink coffee. You don't need any of that. If you need energy, go to sleep. A lot of y'all tired at the end of the day, we gonna keep it real, it's because you're drinking too much caffeine. You're overstimulated from the caffeine. To keep it a buck with you, if you somebody that's been taking pre-workout for a year straight, it's time to cycle off of that. Get some sleep. Get some sleep. You don't need energy. It's not giving you energy anyway. You know what's going to give you energy? Eating quality foods, drinking water. You need energy. Focus on consuming more quality foods. Another reason why I say shop at your local farmer's market. It's going to be a big benefit. What you're going to get from the farmer's market is going to be far different from what you're going to get from the grocery store. You're getting it directly from the source. When it comes down to the grocery store, who knows how long it's been on a truck to get here? Who knows where it's coming from? These things matter. That's another reason why I started gardening. Gardening changed my life. I'm gonna tell y'all right now. It made me realize the significant difference in the fruits and vegetables that we consume from the grocery store. And I'm not saying, I'm not preaching that you got a garden. I'm not preaching that you got to go out here and start your own garden like me and my family have done. But I do want you to understand there's a drastic difference from you growing your own food and what you consuming from the grocery store. It's a night and day difference. It's a night and day difference. Really, I thought food was food. No, food is not just food. You need to pay attention. Chicken ain't just chicken. You got to understand where your chicken's coming from. You got to understand where your beef's coming from. Did this animal die stressfully? These things you got to understand. It's very important. We're not eating the same things, man. And I'm telling you right now, I even did a test with my family, right? We brought bread. We brought 3 different brands of bread. 2 of them were fresh. One of them was just the regular generic store brand that everybody buys for the most part. I'm going to tell you right now, if your food is not rotten, that's already a problem. It shows you there's so many chemicals in it. We've had that bread for over 3 months. Still no mold on this bread. I want to see if I want to see for at least 6 months if there's going to be any mold on this bread. One of the breads that we brought said it was fresh. It was labeled fresh. It said fresh. Still no mold. 3 months in. How fresh is that? That's not fresh if it's not molding. There's no way. It's no way. So that's why I say you need to understand where your food is coming from. Like I said, a lot of these trainers getting on here and telling you, oh, you should eat at Chick-fil-A. If you follow this diet, you'll get in great shape. Chick-fil-A is not quality food, y'all. It's not. It's not. It's not. Who is their chicken distributor? Do you even know? Where's the chicken coming from? And do understand how they first started buying who they used to buy their chicken from to comparison who they buy from now is definitely night and day. It gotta be. Supply and demand. For anybody that has a business that understands supply and demand, you understand that once you grow, you might have to change that manufacturer. That's a fact. I'm just giving you a lot of the game that you gotta understand. Don't fall a victim to the foolery. Don't fall a victim to the foolery. I want you to really think about it. How many of y'all know a certified trainer that grows their own food? Y'all don't. The average certified trainer is telling you, oh, take this creatine, take this pre-workout because you're tired, you need energy, chug this protein shake. It's so easy to get protein. Protein shouldn't even be, it's the least of your worries. Another great example, something that I learned since I've been gardening, there's 1,000 species of bananas. The average person can only name 2, plantain and yellow bananas. Plantain and yellow bananas. A lot of y'all don't know little things like pineapples and avocados. We don't grow those in this area. We got to get it from somewhere. It got to get shipped to us. These are things we have to understand. Where is our food coming from? Where is our food coming from? This affects. You drive a Mercedes. You drive a Ferrari. You drive a Benz. You don't put regular gas in those things. So why are you putting regular gas in your vehicle? But you want to perform at high levels. I'm just breaking it down for you to make it make sense. I don't want you to fall a victim to the foolery. Everything is not created equal. Just like everything has something cheap, mid-tier, and high-tier, you think that ain't the case for your food? Once again, there's cheap, mid-tier, and high-tier. You should be focusing on high-quality foods, and they're not as expensive as you think. You just need to know how to shop. Those are things that I teach you in my programs. You get where I'm going? I want to make things that much easier for you at the end of the day. I don't want to overcomplicate it. That's why I'm giving you a lot of the basics first. That's why I want you to understand how to shop, how to train, the importance of recovery. Everybody always focuses on one area. They love to focus on one area. Oh, if you ain't training hard, you ain't gonna get great results. It ain't just about training. I know a lot of people that train hard, their bodies still look like trash because they refuse to tighten up on their nutrition and they refuse to tighten up on their recovery. I know a lot of people that eat exceptionally well, but they don't train at all. They don't look like they train. They don't look like they work out at all. And some of them, even despite them eating healthier, they still eating junk within the health. Because you can still eat healthy junk. A lot of people don't realize this. There's a lot of vegans out here that are eating extremely unhealthy. Just because you're vegan doesn't necessarily mean that you're eating healthy. We need to understand a lot of these basics and understand what steps we should take and implement strategies that we can build consistency. I want you to be consistent. I don't want you to just start something and you can't finish it. I want you to be consistent. I want it to be 1, 2, 3 for you. You're not over. You know how I shop here. I get this from here. I know they sell this right here trash. I ain't gonna buy this from this. I'm gonna go over here and get this from here because it's a little cheaper and it still got the quality. You gotta understand how to shop. This makes a drastic difference in how you feel, how you think, and how you perform. Everything works hand in hand. It's not, oh, if I eat good and I train good, you still gotta work on recovery. You still gotta work on recovery. There's so many components that go to recovery. And if you're not maximizing your recovery, I do want you to understand, mainly if you're training hard, you're just increasing the chances of you getting injured. And I don't want you to get injured. I want you to do it the right way. I don't want you to start your fitness journey and you feel some type of way because you feel like the numbers ain't moving the way that you want because you're not noticing that you need to focus on something else, but you're so focused on the training only. You tighten up on your nutrition a little bit, but you barely getting sleep. You chugging all these energy drinks and doing all this wild stuff for energy, and you not realizing it ain't doing nothing but killing your body. And that's one thing I need y'all to understand. You can do the wrong things to the body for a long time. And then once that body responds to it, ain't no coming back. Ain't no coming back. The disease, these illnesses are increasing. Heart attack, diabetes, high cholesterol. And some of these things can be avoided just from being active. Everybody wants to focus on what I got to do to get the chest. What are you going to do to get healthy? That's the first thing you need to focus on. Your health is your wealth. I have clients that make millions. I have clients that make millions of dollars. And you know what they're trying to do because they destroyed their body in the process of making the millions. You know what they're trying to do? They're trying to buy their life back. And you can't do that. It's one of the worst things you can do. Don't get to the money. And then when you get to the money, you're trying to buy back a lot of your health because you just destroyed your body from the trash eating over the years. Really think about it. What our grandparents and great-grandparents were eating is not the same thing that we eat nowadays. It's not. It's not. This stuff is getting tricky. The companies are understanding that people are getting smarter. They're changing the language. Plant-based came out of nowhere. That's some nuanced term. That's not something that's been in the books for years. They see that you want to be healthy and do understand there's a lot of things that are plant-based that are unhealthy. But because it's plant-based, you think it's healthy. You got to really think about this. There's a lot of terms and terminology that they're changing because they're seeing that people want to be more conscious of their health. And they just look at the front packaging and don't realize that just because it's labeled a certain way doesn't necessarily mean it is what it is. I want to give you the game. I want to get you to understand you can build my type of physique if you understand what to do and how to do it. It's not about being in the gym 7 days a week. It's not about just eating all organic. You get where I'm going? You got to understand a lot, man. You got to understand a lot. You can get more of what you want if you know how to go about it. And like I said, things are getting trickier and trickier because people are understanding. I appreciate the follow, big dog. People are understanding the big difference. And once again, every time I jump on live, I want you to understand the basics. I want you to understand the basics right here. This is 5 pounds of fat. This is 5 pounds of muscle. However we weigh this on the scale, 5 pounds is 5 pounds. 5 pounds of chicken and 5 pounds of rice. If it's 5 pounds, it's 5 pounds last time I checked. But look at the difference on your body. This that body fat. This the food you ain't been able to work off. It's just trapped right there. You can't see your arms because it's moving to the arms. It's moving to the legs. It ain't got nowhere to go. You gotta burn it off. You gotta burn it off. You gotta burn it off. Come on now. Why are you just gonna let all of this just sit in your body? It ain't doing nothing but creating diseases at the end of the day. This shouldn't be on your body, mainly when it's heavily processed. The body don't even know what to do with half of these processed foods. All it's going to do is turn it into fat. It don't know what to do with it. It can't get no nutrients from it. It's like, what am I doing with this? I don't know what to do with this. I don't know what to do with this. Stop locking in and trying to focus just on nice arms and a big chest and a six-pack. You already got a six-pack. The only thing that's stopping you from seeing your six-pack is this damn body fat percentage. You got too much. Once you start getting rid of it, you can start seeing your six-pack. Come on now. These are just the basics. The basics. The higher we are in body fat percentage, the less definition we're going to see. That's why you can't see no definition. You got a bunch of muscle. Your muscles look damn near just like mine. Your muscles look damn near just like mine. The only difference is your arm might be shorter or your arm might be longer. That's it. Your leg might be shorter, your leg might be longer. Last time I checked, muscles damn near look the same. The only thing that's stopping you from seeing it, too much body fat. Too much body fat. Don't overcomplicate this. Don't overcomplicate this. And getting in shape ain't rocket science. You just need to know how to go about this. You need a strategy. The reason why you can't get away from the foods is because they're loaded with chemicals. They making you go back for more. And I tell people this all the time. I had, at one point for months, I was eating extremely clean. I'm talking about clean. I'm talking about clean. No fast food, no restaurants, no nothing. Around this time, everybody was going crazy for the Popeyes chicken sandwich. I'm talking about going crazy for the Popeyes chicken sandwich. I was like, you know what? Once I get off this, because I want to look good. Once I get out this habit and, you know, get back to what I want to do, I'm gonna try this sandwich. So, got out the diet. The wave of the Popeye chicken sandwich was over with. It's like, you know, let me go pull up. It was like around like 11:30. I finished working. I was like, you know what? Let me go and get it. I get the chicken sandwich. You know what I wanted the next day? I wanted the chicken sandwich again. I was like, you know what, man? It ain't even that deep. I've been going crazy with my workouts. It ain't that deep. Let me go and get the sandwich again. So for the third time, I get the sandwich. And then now again, I want the sandwich again. I want you to understand, these things are attacking your hormones. The reason why you keep going back to it is not because it tastes good. It's attacking your hormones and it's making you want it more and more and more. That's why they load it with chemicals. They load it with chemicals to increase the shelf life, to make you want it more, to make it taste better. You got to understand what you're dealing with. You got to understand what you're dealing with. When they see the paper train coming in, they want to keep that money coming in. They got to do things. They got to be smart. This is why I keep saying you got to understand how to break a lot of these cycles, a lot of these trends. It's another reason why I started cold pressed juicing. Another reason why me and my family started selling cold pressed juices. I didn't believe in it at first. Cold pressed juices was the one thing that made me say, I don't even want that trash no more. And I tried so many different type of diets. I heard people tell me, man, cold pressed juicing is a thing. You should try it. Great way to build better gut health and etc. I'm like, it is what it is. Y'all playing. I tried it. I'm like, dang, I got energy I never thought from. If I had known the energy I was going to get from these cold pressed juices, I would have cold pressed juiced a long time ago. I wouldn't have leaned towards none of them coffees. I wouldn't have been the coffee in and up. You're tripping. You're tripping. Forget coffee. What I need coffee for? Since I started cold press juicing, I ain't had coffee, no pre-workouts, no energy drinks, none of that. And my workouts ain't phased. It didn't scale. I didn't scale back on my energy on my workout. My workouts even, if anything, turned to a whole nother level. They turned up. Some people don't want to hear that. It is what it is, but it's a fact. It's a fact. You don't need a lot of these things you think you need. You don't need the coffee for energy because the coffee ain't giving you energy. It's just turning one of your sensors off to make you feel like you're alert, but you're still in the same state. If you're using it for an appetite suppressor, okay, I get it. But the average person that's going to coffee, what they doing? Loading it with creams and sugars. And this is stuff that you got to work off. I want you to understand, for every 1 mile that you run, because you got to run this mile, you got to be booking, you got to really get it, you got to run hard as you can burn approximately 100 calories. You mean to tell me that sandwich that's 900 calories, you really want to run 9 miles just to work that off? Insanity, if you ask me. I would rather skip it. I would rather say forget it. You know what? I'm going to come back to it another time. I want you all to understand, it's not harder than it. It's not, we making it hard on ourselves. People always love to tell me, oh, eating out is expensive. Show me your DoorDash. Show me your Uber Eats. How much you spend a month? Why are you not using that budget that you spending on Uber Eats and DoorDash to buy quality foods? You just have to understand how to source for these foods. And once again, with my programs, I teach you these things. I make it easier for you. I break it down for you in the simplest terms, just like I've been breaking everything down on a live. There's no need to overcomplicate things. It's no need to expense another $400-500 and getting this, that, and the third. In actuality, all you need is this basic information. Knowing how to shop, knowing how to train, knowing how to maximize your recovery, you can build a phenomenal physique. I didn't build my chest off no creatine. You get what I mean? You able to see my chest, once again, because I got a lower body fat percentage. Let's not use this genetics excuse again. It's not about genetics. It's not. It's not. You got to put in the work. Most people aren't working hard enough to even see the physique that they want. I see it all the time. When I train my clients in the gym, my clients be making jokes like, dang, man, we went through 3 exercises and they still on the same machine. They still on the same machine. How? Why? Why? Does it make sense? I don't get it. Huh? They still on the same machine? Yeah. It's not easy to get in great shape, because if it was that easy, everybody would be in great shape. Everybody wants this, oh, I want to lose 50 pounds in 3 days. Let me take this shot to lose the weight and don't even realize the side effects. That's one thing I want y'all to understand. If you're going to do something, please do me a favor and understand the ins and outs of what you're doing. Please do me that favor. Because if you still haven't developed the right behaviors and patterns, you're going to end up back in the same place. You're going to end up back in the same place. If you're thinking about that surgery, do me a favor and start your workout plan now, so you start implementing those habits, so that if you do go about that surgery, it's easy to maintain. Stop looking for the short way out. There's no shortcuts to this. If you want a great physique, there's no shortcuts to this. I love how God's shining on me. This is how I know I'm giving y'all real information. God telling me He's proud of the information that I'm giving you all. And I'm going to tell you one thing. I'm going to keep giving you the information because I want you to make the right decisions. I want you to take your health seriously. They'll give you anything for a cheap price for you to destroy your body, and I don't want you to do that. You have an amazing body, the most expensive thing you will ever have in your life. The most expensive thing you will ever have in your life is your body. Do you have suggestions on fat burners? No, I don't have suggestions on fat burners. I've never taken a fat burner a day in my life. I don't even know if they work. I don't even know the brands of fat burners. I haven't been in the GNC since I worked there years ago. I'm going to be real with you. I'm not that guy. I'm going to tell you this. Put in the work. Eat right. Once again, I want you to understand, you're talking to a gardener. You're talking to someone that grows their own food. I went the extra mile. I'm willing to do the things you're not willing to do. I'm going to sacrifice my time for quality. You get what I mean? It ain't no shortcuts to this. I don't take pre-workout. I don't take protein shakes. I don't take BCAAs. I don't take none of that. None of that is going in my body. None of it. Zero, zilch. I can't even remember the last time I even brought a supplement. Haven't used supplement in years. It's no need for none of that. Why are we so lazy to put in the work? Why? Why do we want a magic pill for a fat burner? Put in the work. Put in the work. Stop being lazy and put in the work. I'm telling you right now, you will reap so many benefits. So many benefits. If you put in the work, you won't believe the things you'll see and achieve if you actually put in the work. There's no shortcuts. Everybody that started their fitness journey, when I started my fitness journey, they fell off. They're nowhere close to where I am because they always wanted to find a shortcut. They always wanted to find a shortcut. You get what I'm saying? Always wanted to find a shortcut. So do me a favor and understand one thing, man. You can get in great shape. You just gotta put the work in. I'm not over here pumping supplements. None of that. None of that. I'm not pumping no supplements. I want you to understand, if you follow the fundamentals that I'm giving you, you will be able to achieve your body without any of that. Just take the time. Think about this. How many of us have read the story from the tortoise and the hare? If we notice that the tortoise won the race, why do we keep trying to act like the hare? The hare kept on stopping and going, stopping and going, stopping and going. And that's what people generally do when they want these supplements. Oh, I need the fat burner because I'm trying to lose this because I got a trip coming up. Okay, you lose the 5 pounds, but then guess what? The trip over with. Now you ain't even worried about fitness no more. That's the hare. You're being the hare again. You're being the hare again. I don't want you to be the hare. I want you to be the tortoise when it comes down to your body. They're going to give you anything to destroy your body at the end of the day. They're going to give you anything to destroy your body at the end of the day. I don't want you to destroy your body. I want you to take care of your body. I want you to nourish your body. I want you to cherish your body. Because you only get one body. Think about this. You drive a car, you get in a car accident, you can buy another one. You get in a car accident with your body and something drastically messed up. You got to live with that now. How many people paralyzed got to live with that now? Really think about that. You only get one body last time I checked. What happens when we gone? I don't know. You don't know. Who knows? We don't know. So while we here, why don't we cherish the one thing we got? That's our body. Stop destroying it for nothing. We don't know the side effects to the fat burners. Why do we want them? We see the side effects when we taking this Ozempic. Why do we want it? Come on, y'all. I seen an article, somebody took Ozempic. They died. They got so much diarrhea, they just pooping on themselves all the time. You gonna take the risk to do that? Why? Why? It's not worth it at the end of the day. That's all I want y'all to understand. If you put in the work, you can look like me with ease. With ease. You get what I'm saying? Come on now. It says with food depleted in nutrition. We talked about this. It said with food that are depleted in nutrition, how can I receive the same results and I'm not a gardener? Understand how to shop. I talked about this. You don't got to be a gardener, but there's plenty of farmers that you can go to at farmers markets. Understand the grocery stores. Understand how to shop. We talked about this. I've been breaking this down the whole life. I don't know if you just got in here, by the way. So I do want you to understand. Once again, you don't have to be a gardener like me. You don't got to spend the time and grow your own fruits and vegetables. Remember, it's 2025, man. You can order it with ease. You just have to do your due diligence and understand the brands that you're purchasing these things from. If you don't understand the brands and where they're getting these things from, then you don't know what you're getting. You don't know what you get. You get where I'm going? You get where I'm going? It says Greek yogurt and frozen fruit. Frozen fruit can be 50-50. Only reason why I say if you go to frozen fruit, use frozen fruit as a substitute. If you notice, if you buy fresh fruit, it's not working for you. So like say for example, I'm just using these blueberries, raspberries, and bananas. You eat the bananas, you eat the raspberries, but you notice that the blueberries always go to waste. What I would do is I would add the frozen blueberries instead of buying fresh ones. That's what I would recommend. Because you got to understand they are going to throw other things on frozen goods. That's why I always tell people, if you can, try to stay away from the freezer aisle, because a lot of the freezer stuff is loaded with a lot of sodium, because that's going to preserve the food's shelf life. You get where I'm going? So when you use freezer stuff, I always say, generally use freezer items as a substitute, kind of like a supplement, if you're noticing you're buying a certain thing and it keeps going to waste. If it keep going to waste, I will recommend now you get a freezer item from that. It says, thank you for the knowledge. You're absolutely right. Thank you. Nah, I'm here. I'm trying to look, like I said, I'm here to give you game. I'm not here to belittle anybody or make it seem like I'm doing something better than them and all that. I'm not here for none of that. I'm not here for none of that. I'm not here to sell you supplements. As you can see, I ain't even tell you the prices of my program. I'm not here to sell programs or anything. I'm here to give you free game and educate you on how you can change your life, where you can operate at high levels mentally and physically. Every time y'all jump on live, let's keep it a buck. The average person that look like me is selling you an energy drink. They selling you NO2. They selling you a protein shake. They selling you this, that, and the third. I don't do none of that. I garden. Look at my content. You can see my family's garden. We grow squash. Squash and zucchini is the same thing. I was about to say zucchini too. We grow zucchini. We grow eggplant. We grow lettuce. We grow onion, beets, cucumber. You get what I mean? We grow, what else we got? What else we got? We got a lot of different herbs like parsley. I'm drawing a blank because I'm thinking about so much other stuff, but you get the gist. We grow a lot at the end of the day. I don't have no farm, but we do grow a lot. It says crazy. I thought they were picked, then frozen and ripened. I get what you're saying, but like I said, just do your research on the frozen stuff. Do your research on the frozen stuff. Like I said, if you're going to go frozen, my recommendation of going frozen is if it's a scenario where you noticing something spoil or ripening faster. That's it. I will use the frozen if you're spoiling or ripening faster. One of the best things you can do to get the most nutrients from what you're consuming, like I said before, is get it from a farmer's market. Or some of the grocery stores know when they deliver the fruits and vegetables. That's a game changer right there. They might deliver bananas on Wednesday. You want bananas, go on Wednesday to get your bananas. You get what I mean? They might set out all the potatoes and all this other stuff on Thursday. Go on Thursday to get what you can. But once again, still understand where the grocery store that you're shopping at is getting their items from, getting their produce from. You get what I mean? That makes things a lot easier at the end of the day. It says a caloric deficit is important. I don't really like caloric deficit is important for those who want to lose weight, but I try to get people to don't focus more so on caloric deficit, focus more on quality of food and overall consumption. Because I do want you to understand, despite me saying everything that I'm saying, it's not like I don't still enjoy myself. Like I've had fried chicken. You get what I'm saying? Like I still enjoy myself. I just want you to understand you have to be reasonable with enjoying yourself. Am I eating fried chicken every day? Hell nah. One of my favorite foods is pizza. I'm going to get Pizza Hut once a week. Is Pizza Hut healthy? Hell nah. Mainly because I get Pizza Hut with the pan pizza. If you know about pan pizza, that damn crust greasy as hell. Am I eating Pizza Hut every day? No. So you can still enjoy yourself at the end of the day, but do understand that these things are not really nourishing the body. They're not that beneficial for the body. They're not. So consuming these things on a regular basis, they're just taking you away from your goals at the end of the day. It says, I have been staying away from seeds. Why not? Why you staying away from lentos? No, I said lentos. I'm tripping. I read that wrong. My bad. You said you really see the difference. Oats. Oh, got you. I got you. Sunflower seeds, wheat. Nah, those things can be good in moderation. If you're doing sunflower seeds, you got to be careful. If it's a point that you buying them with like the sodium and all that other stuff. So like if I do any type of like anything seeds or nut based, I get it with no salt. I don't do the salt thing. I try to take away the salt because it's easy to get salt from like the seasonings that you put on your food. So having buying cashews or buying all this other stuff and putting salt on it, I'm gonna be real with you. I take it away and I just eat it either raw or when I say raw, you know, you can buy them raw, and then kind of go from there. It says, do you intermittent fast or fasting beneficial? I don't do intermittent fasting. I'm gonna be real with you, Nah. I have a balanced diet. I got it. Only time I might do like fasting is if it's a scenario where I do it more so for spiritual reasons. I don't do it to look good or to keep a six pack. I have a six pack all year. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I have a six pack all year because I eat relatively the same. The only thing that changes for me in the fall is I might consume a little bit more, and some of what I eat shifts with the fruits and vegetables because you don't grow the same thing in fall and winter that you grow in spring and summer. That's the only thing that'll shift for the most part. Like a good example, pomegranates, I can get that around October. I can't get pomegranates right now unless they're coming from Florida. So just to give you a little bit of that. It says, yeah. No salted additives, pretty much dialed in. I feel it. I don't buy Powerade anymore. Good. Be careful with the drinks. That's another reason why I did the cold pressed juices. Cold pressed juices allow me to stay away from a lot of chemicals and I can still enjoy juice. But I tell people, if you do cold pressed juices, you got to be careful because you're going to want juice. I know that's one thing I've noticed. I've never really been a juice fan, but since I've been drinking cold pressed juice, if I'm out and about, I always try to keep like one tucked in a corner because I know I'm going to want juice at some point throughout the day. But a few cold pressed juices that help me get to a whole nother level. The Beets Power that we do. Beets Power is beets, carrot, and ginger. Game changer. If you somebody that want to work on your cardiovascular endurance, I'm telling you right now, drink that like 15 minutes before your workout. You're going to be going crazy. So that's one of the best pre-workouts too, mainly if you want the veins popping out and all that other stuff. I'm going to be real with you. That's one of the best NO2 drinks. One thing I drink on a regular basis, mainly because it's watermelon season, I switch between red watermelon and yellow watermelon. If I want something a little bit more sweeter, then I'll go for yellow because it's kind of like honey. It's a little bit sweeter. But if it's something I just want to drink watermelon all day, mainly if I'm going to be in the sun, like say, for example, if I'm training my client outside or something like that, I got watermelon on deck, watermelon juice on deck. All I'm going to add is lemon or lime with that watermelon, and I'm good to go. You get what I mean? It says, of course you would be. I'm in tears, young. I'm in tears. It's crazy. We ain't even gonna announce that. It says, what about tea with raw honey? That's not bad, but you still got to be careful with honey. With my honey, I get the honeycomb. The honeycomb. So I get it from like the actual bees, and the honeycomb come in it. When the honeycomb come in it, I'm gonna be real with y'all. The beautiful thing about it is the combs actually is like gum. So you can chew it like gum. It just don't have a lot of flavor for the most part. It says I just stick to organic coconut water, just slowly getting rid of sugary drinks. Oh, no, that's a bet. Nah, coconut water is definitely the best way to go. If you do coconut water, I'm the person that does Harmless, the pink coconut water. I'm the one that does Harmless, the pink coconut water. I'm in tears. Nah, hey, Cuz up out of here, so you ain't got to worry about that big dog. I seen that. Cuz up out of here. I always think it's so crazy how you can give people positive information and it's always one negative person. But I always say this, when you get the negativity, that's when you know you're doing something right. That's when you know you're doing something right. You ruffling feathers. You ruffling feathers, and I'm coming here to ruffle the feathers. I'm just letting y'all know that. I'm coming here to ruffle the feathers. You feel me? Oh, the funny thing you say oatmeal. Oats is something that I do on a regular. Oats, I do eggs. You know what I'm saying? Those are something I do on a regular. But keep dropping y'all questions, by the way. Like I said, I'm always about transparency when I jump on live. I want to make sure I'm communicating with my people, because it also shows me that you intaking the information too. I don't want to just spew game all day. I want to make sure you actually soaking in the information. Because my objective, once again, when I jump on live, is to help you make game-changing decisions. You know what I mean? Like I said, in order to eat good, do understand one thing. I'm not saying you got to do exactly what I'm doing. I'm not saying you got to do exactly what I'm doing, like garden. But it's all about making the right decisions, so that way you can get more of what you want when it comes down to your health and fitness. You don't got to do all the craziness that so many other people are doing in order to get in great shape. Like I said, I'm in great shape and I don't do none of that. I don't do none of that. And I haven't done it for years. So if you feel as though you need a supplement for that edge, I want you to understand. You know what's going to give you that edge? Tightening up on your nutrition. It's going to be a tremendous difference tightening up on that nutrition. And once again, if you want to drop the body fat, this is what you got to focus on. This is what you got to focus on. This is what you got to focus on. We got 5 pounds right here of body fat. 5 pounds of muscle. Big difference. Big difference. 5 pounds is 5 pounds. It says, much appreciate. How would you recommend bulking before cutting in the summer? I'm not a bodybuilder, so I don't talk about that. That's not what I do. I don't bulk or cut. So I'm not a bodybuilder. I'm not the person for that. Bulking or cutting is bodybuilder terms. I am not a bodybuilder. I'm just a certified personal trainer. I garden, and I love working out. I'm very passionate about working out. So I don't have any suggestions for bulking or cutting. That's not what I do. I tell people this all the time. To gain weight is the same thing you do to lose weight at the end of the day. You're relatively eating a lot of the same things. It's just the quantity of what you're eating. It's just the quantity of what you eat. That's it. I don't do no bulking or cutting. I don't do no extreme fast where I'm doing a watermelon fast for 30 days. I'm taking this out. I'm not that guy. I'm going to be 100% honest with y'all. I always say this. If you're not trying to be a bodybuilder, why are we following bodybuilder standards? If you're not trying to be a bodybuilder, why are we following bodybuilder standards? I'm personally not a bodybuilder. I have no plans on being a bodybuilder at the end of the day. So I don't do bulking or cutting season. That's not something I do. That's not something I entertain either. Have I learned information from bodybuilders? I'm going to be real with you. Yes, I have. Some of my favorites are Robbie Robertson, just to give you one. Charles Glass is another one. Those are like my 2 top dogs for real. When it comes down to information. So you kind of dig into what they do, and you know, if they go on live or something like that, I would recommend asking them. But to be honest with you, I don't do any type of bulking or cutting. That's not something I do. If I want to lose a little bit of weight, I just take a few more steps. I do a little bit more cardio. That's the only difference that I do personally. If it's a point that I want to gain a little bit more weight, at the end of the day, I'm going to be real with you. I cut back some of my walking. I cut back some of my running because it's a lot easier for me to maintain some of what I'm eating. Because at the end of the day, when you cutting, so they say, it's technically you're in a caloric deficit, so you're expensing more energy than what you're consuming at the end of the day. You feel me? Fair, I appreciate it. Nah, like I said, I'm gonna give you straight facts. I'm not here to sugarcoat nothing. You don't see me. I hit you with the. See, I can't even pose to be real with you, so I can't. I don't do nothing. I don't do none of that. My best pose is one of these. That's my best pose. That's it. To be real with you. That's probably why you see a lot of them joints on my thumbnails. I'm in tears. That's why you see a lot of them on my thumbnails. By any chance, we got any more questions, by the way? Any more questions before we stab out? I want to say thank you to everybody that's tapped in on the live. Hopefully you got a lot of information that can help you get to the next level. I just want to get you right. I just want to get you right. I want to help you get the right information that's going to point you in all the right directions. Any more questions before we stab out? Once again, thank you for everybody that's tapped in. It says, do you have a website? Just I don't really have a website in general, but I do have a Patreon. So if you wanna look me up on my Patreon and what programs that I do offer, all you gotta do is Coach Kemp Jr. So my username is gonna be my Patreon, where you can actually find me. I got programs as low as $10. I got programs expensive as $500. You know what I mean? And like I said, I'm very hands-on with the people that I work with at the end of the day. I want to make sure everybody's getting the same information. It says, thank you. Nah, thank you, Bobby. Appreciate you tapping in, big dog. Like I said, if you got questions, drop your questions. I got a little bit more time. If you got questions, drop your questions. Like I said, I love jumping on live and being more transparent, but I do feel like, I guess I'm giving you a lot of information that you love at the end of the day that can help you get to the next level. And once again, you don't have to go to the extreme of what I'm doing. I'm not saying that you can't take supplements. I do want y'all to understand. I have taken supplements before. I used to take BCAAs. That was one thing I used to take. I took BCAAs one time out of the year, and generally when I started lifting extremely heavy. It says, do you eat the same thing every day? Hell no, I can't do that. It's not gonna work for me. I got a private chef, to be real with you, so they be dressing it up. They mix it up for me. But I do not eat the same thing every day. Like yesterday, I had last night I had they made chicken Alfredo with some mushrooms in it. Oh, that shit was bomb as hell. Bomb as hell, yeah. Bomb as hell. A lot of y'all, speaking of pasta, I do want y'all to understand, if you can make your own pasta instead of buying boxed pasta, you'll see a night and day difference. This is something I learned. My little brother, when he went overseas, he was telling me it's so crazy how so many people eat pasta on a regular basis, but they were skinny as hell. And I'm gonna tell y'all one thing: the things that we're putting in a lot of our box pastas over here is drastically different. Where if you make your own or know how to source for fresh pasta, but do me a favor: do not be eating that box pasta because it's not the same. And do always understand it's always on use case of what you're doing for it to be beneficial. A good example is a lot of people fail to realize how beneficial pasta can be in being able to give you energy when you're doing cardiovascular activity. A lot of people that run track, before their track meets, they load up on pasta the night before, so when they run track the next day, guess what? They got more than enough energy to sustain their run. It says, I'm going to follow you. You have motivated me. Again, thanks. Nah, appreciate you for the follow, big dog. Appreciate you for the follow. Like I said, I'm here to motivate. I'm here to inspire. I'm here to educate and get you to understand. It's all about how you want to do it. You know what I mean? There's so many different ways. And I just want to be clear with this before we close out. There's so many ways to get in great shape. There's no one way or one size fits all to get in great shape. And I want you to understand, just because someone else is doing something in particular does not necessarily mean that you doing it is going to be beneficial for you. So a great example, you already asked me how many times do I eat per day. I can eat once a day, I can eat 3 times a day, but I don't eat 6 times a day, 7 times a day, anything crazy like that. It's all relative to what I'm trying to do. I look at food as gas. That's what most people miss. You don't just eat to eat. I notice a lot of people eat to eat. They just want to eat all the time. So they're just constantly feeding their body. And then guess what? When you constantly feed your body wants more and more and more and more and more. I don't eat to just eat. What I'm eating is relative to how I'm trying to perform. That's what I was trying to get with the pasta aspect. So there are times I might eat twice a day. There are times I might eat 3 times a day. I don't have a consistent time of what I'm eating. All of this is relative to what I'm doing and how much time I have access to. So a good example is sometimes my first client is at 4 o'clock in the morning. So I might train from 4 until noon. Once noon comes, I'll do my personal workout. And then coming from noon, guess what? It may take me an hour to get home from wherever I train from. So once I get home, guess what? I already have a meal prep. So that may be my first meal. So some people might be like, oh, what did you eat last night? The night before, I might have had steak, eggs. I mean, not steak, not eggs, but steak, mashed potatoes, and asparagus. You know what I mean? But do understand, what I ate that night did sustain enough energy for me to lift heavy for my workout and have enough energy for my clients. And throughout the process of that time, I wasn't consuming anything. I might have been loading up on, I might have had a 16-ounce cold pressed juice. The flavors may change depending on, the day or how hot or cold it is. That can be a thing. But do understand, it's no consistent number of meals that I ate. So a good example, I only ate once so far today. Actually, I take that back. I ate twice so far today. I take that back. Because I had like a burrito and I had eggs. I ain't gonna fake. I had a burrito. I had chicken burrito, rice. It had rice, beans, pico. It had guacamole in it. And the funny thing, I only had half of it. That's the funny thing. I had half of the burrito because I actually shared it with someone. What else? That's all I had so far, and the rest I've been loading up on water for the most part. So I do want you to understand, I am going to eat it a little bit later. So probably like in the next, maybe like 2 hours, 2.5 hours, I'm going to eat again. But I really don't eat more than 3 times a day for real. If it's a point that I want to lift heavy and I'm noticing that I'm experiencing like body aching, then I might throw 4 in. I might throw 4 meals in. It depends. Sometimes I still eat 3 because the thing about it, you got to understand about how many times you eat. It's not necessarily how many times you eat. It's what's the quantity. How much are you eating? I think that a lot of people miss that. They always think, okay, this person's eating 4 times a day or 5 times a day. And they might be eating 5 times a day, but the meals may be no bigger than this. You get what I mean? A person might be eating twice a day and their meals might be the size of my hand. You get what I mean? So don't get so caught into what I'm doing. Once again, I want you to focus on you for the most part. So many people get so focused on what someone else is doing, and I try to get y'all to understand what I eat don't make you shit, and what you eat don't make me shit. And everything is always relative to your gut health. Understanding your gut health is going to be far more important than anything. Because once again, some people their guts are very sensitive when it comes down to gluten, and some people aren't. So do be mindful. Everything doesn't work for everybody, and then we ain't even going to cultures yet. Cultures have different spices. They add different things, so that can be a whole nother thing. But before I tap out, any more questions? But to answer your question, it may varies. Once again, it may varies. But I do, once again, I appreciate everybody that's tapped in, joined the live, that's been showing love, that's taking in a lot of information. Hopefully I gave you some information that you can utilize right now to start reaping the benefits for you to get to the next level. Because my objective is, once again, I want you to understand a lot of the fundamentals. Remember, this is 5 pounds of body fat. This is 5 pounds of muscle. 5 pounds of body fat. This is 5 pounds of muscle. I need you to understand, however we weigh this, 5 pounds is 5 pounds at the end of the day. But I want you to understand, if you can't see your 6-pack, because you already have a 6-pack, the only thing that's stopping you from seeing your 6-pack is that body fat. We got to break down that body fat. I'm going to show you a chart once again. If you're all the way up here, I want you to understand, we got work to do. You should dedicate at least a year in order to try to get in shape. You should dedicate a minimum of a year in order to get in shape. The lower we are in here, the more definition we're going to see. It says eat to live, not live to eat. I got it. Facts. Because remember, at the end of the day, when it comes down to food, food is just gas. Food is gas. Once again, you drive a Ferrari. You drive a Benz. You drive a Bugatti. You drive a Porsche. And when you drive in these vehicles, what are we not doing? We're not putting regular gas in these vehicles if we want them to perform at high levels. Because if we continuously put regular gas in a vehicle, it's only going to increase the issues that we're going to have in the future. And that's what I want you to understand. That's why it's important to understand how to shop. That's why it's important to understand what? That's why it's important to understand where to source your foods from. It's important to understand, after consuming these foods, how is your body responding to what you consumed? These things are very, very important in order to get in great shape. Everybody already got a 6-pack. The only thing that's stopping you from seeing your 6-pack is your body fat percentage. And the best thing to do to drop that body fat percentage is going to be what? Make sure we stay on top of our recovery, nutrition, as well as training. It says, do you measure your food? Nope, never measure my food a day in my life, to be honest with you. Never weigh my food, never measure my food. I've always focused on quality over quantity. Quality has always been a big thing for me. Every time I eat from places, I always understand, is it high quality food? Is it low quality food? If it's low quality food, I already know the effects that it's going to have for my body. One thing I used to do all the time when I used to be crazy too, before I ate something crazy, I would eat it before the workout so I can try my best to work it off. That's one thing I used to always do. I always try to get people to understand, eating crazy for me has always been structured. Like if I go out to Chick-fil-A, I'm not getting the large fry, the large drink. I'm going to get the sandwich and I might get a small fry. If I get a fry, I'm breaking it down between people. You get what I mean? Because I want y'all to understand, I have 3 children. I have 3 children. And I tell y'all this too. With the 3 children that I have, there's no reason why I should be in this great shape if you ain't got no kids. If you ain't got no kids, you should be in just as good a shape as me, if not better. You just got to know what to do. Don't overcomplicate it. A lot of the basics that I gave you today are fundamentals that you can use in order to get in great shape. A lot of the basics that I gave you today, you can utilize in order to get in great shape. I'm going to break down these basics again. First thing you need to focus on is recovery. What comes with recovery? Foam rolling, stretching. Remember, when you stretch, you do your static stretching at the end of your workouts. You do your dynamic stretches at the beginning of your workouts. Dynamic stretching is going to warm up the body properly, so when you go through the workout, we ain't got no hiccups. We're not trying to keep warming up. You get what I mean? Going from there, we need to understand another thing when it comes down to recovery is going to be sleep. You want to maximize your sleep at the end of the day. So if you're not getting as close to 8 hours of sleep, let's try to work towards that. I'm not saying you have to get 8 hours of sleep, but I want you to try your best to get as close to 8 hours of sleep as possible. That's going to be important. Foam rolling is going to be important because these are things that's going to help deload the body of the stress that you're applying it to from not only the workouts, but from your day-to-day lifestyle. It's going to be very important to understand. Another thing I need us to understand when it comes down to recovery, nutrition is a part of recovery. Even though I have nutrition at number 2, nutrition is a part of recovery at the end of the day. So do understand how you nourish your body is going to play a huge role in how you can maximize your recovery. Rest days. When I say rest days, is days off of the gym. You being able to allow your body to process everything you put it through when it comes down to the workouts. Even when it comes down to recovery, do understand your training system of how you train and when you implement certain things is going to be a part of you being able to maximize your recovery too. Another reason why I always say don't do full body workouts all the time, because at some point you're not going to allow your body enough time to recover in the areas that need recovery. Because most of the time when people do full body workouts, they overtrain the area they want to see the most results in, and not realizing that if you focus on the opposite area, 9 out of 10, this will help develop the area that you want to develop. And what I mean by this is, if you're somebody that wants to build a chest, do understand one thing. If you focus on effectively training your back, then guess what? Then you'll be able to develop a better chest. Because if you focus on just chest, you know what's going to happen? Them shoulders are going to draw forward. But if you focus on back, what it's going to do is going to pull that chest out and open, and you can develop a nice chest. It's not always about just doing all these different variations of chest to build a better chest. It's about effectively developing your back, because back at the end of the day is a second foundation when it comes down to your physique. Legs is always going to be the first foundation. So do be mindful of that. Another thing when it comes down to recovery, we talked about sleep, my bad. We talked about foam rolling. We talked about stretching. Massage gun could be another one. I actually use a massage gun mainly when I'm in the thick of my training. So if I'm turning it up with my training, I'm going to add the massage gun to make sure I'm deloading the body. Sports massage is going to be another one, because I need you to understand you can only stretch yourself out but so much. And with sports massages actually add the movement in the stretch. So you'll start to open up your body a lot more if you're doing sports massages. So do understand, at some point you should still hire someone to actually stretch you out. Don't just do like the deep tissue massages. Get sports massages as well, mainly for my athletes. You'll see so much more out of your performance, because you don't realize the training that you're taking your body through is really breaking your body down. So that's another thing. So now when it comes down to nutrition, remember, I put recovery first, nutrition second. The reason why I put nutrition second is because it affects both recovery, and third will be training. It affects your training. If you're not maximizing your nutrition, you ain't gonna get but so much out of your training. If you're not maximizing your nutrition, you ain't gonna be able to maximize your recovery. So they all go hand in hand. That's another reason why I put it in the middle. Another reason why I put it in the middle is because nutrition is something that you're always gonna have to tighten up on. Everybody goes through different phases of their life in different seasons. It might be for the next 3 months, you might be overwhelmed with work, so you might not be able to go to the gym as much as you were going to before. But if you tighten up on your nutrition, that'll be able to give your body enough rest, so when you're able to get back busy and hit the gym again, you're going to be 100%. You get what I mean? Another thing is sourcing for high quality foods. Once again, I understand that I garden, me and my family garden, and not everybody wants to do that. You don't have to garden if you don't have the time. I just always try to get people to understand that if you don't have so-called the expenses to invest into high quality foods, one of the easiest ways to invest in a different way is with your time and your energy. Show love to the plants and things that you're growing. And I'm telling you right now, when it's time to harvest, you're going to be able to eat real good, real good. And I tell people this all the time. How many people do you know that are certified personal trainers that garden like myself? I garden. I'm at my garden on a regular basis because I want you to understand, when it's time to eat, I want to eat. I want to eat. You get what I'm saying? I want to eat. and I want to eat quality at the end of the day. I understand what's coming from the grocery stores. So like I said, each grocery store is not created equal. Understand what your grocery store is offering you. Are they offering you high quality, mid tier, or low tier? Understand how to shop at different grocery stores. I always say if you shopping at one grocery store for everything, I personally would recommend just visiting a few grocery stores in your neighborhood just to see what each one of them offers, and then pick which things. Like, this is the easiest way to mitigate some of your expense when it comes down to grocery shopping. We talked about this also, where knowing what fruits and vegetables are in season is going to be a game changer to understand, is it going to be expensive or inexpensive? If things are generally of abundance, it's going to be a lot cheaper. If it's a point that it's coming from somewhere else or it's out of season, it's going to be a little bit more expensive. So be mindful of that. But I want you to understand, if you're consuming a lot of DoorDash and Uber Eats at the end of the day, I want you to understand you already got a budget at the end of the day to really eat healthy. But eating healthy is not as expensive as people make it seem if you know how to shop. If you know how to shop, that's going to be the game changer. We talked about that as well. And then also understand that generally what you're relatively eating in fall and winter is going to be a little bit different than what you're eating in spring and summer, because we're planting different things. For those who do not know, once again, I'm a gardener. So what we plant in fall and winter is drastically different than what we're planting in spring and summer. So do understand that. Another thing I want you to understand is, do not beat yourself up about when it's a point that you're not eating the right things. Adjust. Make your necessary adjustments to understand, okay, I'm doing this wrong. I shouldn't be eating this. I need to be doing something else. You get what I'm saying? It's just filming my... I'm in tears. So do understand, these things are going to be drastically different. These things are going to be drastically different. So that way you can get what you want out of... your training at the end of the day. So do me that favor and understand that. Do me a favor and understand that. Another thing I want you to understand when it comes down to nutrition. Nutrition is not a one-size-fits-all. I say this all the time. It's not a one-size-fits-all. So I want you all to stop asking trainers and all these other people what are they eating, because what they're eating doesn't necessarily mean it's going to benefit for you, and you may cook a little different. So I always recommend, instead of finding out what someone else is eating, do your due diligence and do your research and understanding how to, based upon the foods that you actually consume, how to make different recipes, healthy recipes. Look up so many different recipes and try different recipes too. Like one of my new favorites is eggplant parmesan. I mean, I'm telling you right now, eggplant parmesan is on point. I never thought I would eat parmesan without the chicken, to be real with you. But eggplant parmesan is something that I've recently tried over the years, and I've been loving it. I'm gonna be real with you. I've been loving it. When it comes down to the training, to stay consistent, don't overthink things. So number 3 is training. Remember, number 1 is going to be recovery. Number 2 is going to be nutrition. And number 3 is going to be training. When it comes down to the training, I want you to understand, do the things you can be consistent with. I can't stress this enough. So if you like tennis, get involved with tennis, mainly now that the weather is getting nice. If it's a point that you like basketball, get on the court, get your cardio in. If it's a point that you like boxing, hit the heavy bag, hit the speed bag. You know what I'm saying? Do things that you really enjoy so that you can stay consistent with it. And don't bite off too much that you can't chew. What I mean by this is, even though you may want to commit working out 5 days a week, but if your schedule is only allowing 3, be very intentional with the 3 days that you have. But do also understand, how you train is relative to how your physique is going to look, mainly when you follow all these other 3 things. How you train is relative to how your physique is going to look. You feel me? You feel me? Any more questions? Because we went over a lot. It says push-ups and dumbbells good for a workout. I do a lot of push-ups. Be careful with doing too many push-ups, because after a while it's going to put a strain on your rotator cuff in general. So I always say, for me, what I like to do is I incorporate weights. I tell people this: if you want to make your life that much easier, I'm a gym goer. I'm going to tell you, open a gym membership. I'm always going to say that. I'm not the person that's going to do a bunch of pull-ups. I'm not doing 100 pull-ups. I'm not doing 100 push-ups. I get bored. I'm bored. I would rather lift heavier weight. If it's a point that push-ups getting easy and I'm able to knock out 50 push-ups, for real, my cap is really 30. I don't really care for doing over 30 push-ups in one sitting. And I might superset with like a chest press, a dumbbell chest press, and knock out 30 push-ups. But me personally, I'm not a person that does a bunch of push-ups over and over and over and over and over again. It's boring to me. I'm gonna be real with you. I'm always gonna tell you to open up a gym membership. I was able to build my physique from doing machines, doing dumbbells, doing cables. I mix everything up. I mix up a variety of everything. That's the easiest way to shock the body. If I've noticed that I want to change something, I can easily, if I was doing machines for 2 months, I might switch to dumbbells or I might switch to barbells. The only thing I'm not really a big fan of is barbells because I don't like the restriction. But at the end of the day, I still incorporate it in my routine because I like the idea of balancing a heavy bar. That's something that I love about it. But overall, I'm a person that's going to tell you open a gym membership. Get that Equinox, get that Lifetime, get an LA Fitness, whatever membership that you can afford. Go to the gym because at the end of the day, a gym is not paying $3,000 for a piece of equipment if it has no use case. You get what I mean? Do understand when it comes down to dumbbells, it is another way to challenge the body. My chest and shoulders is built from weightlifting. It's built from weightlifting. It's not from doing a bunch of body weight activity. I'm gonna just be real with y'all. I don't just do a bunch of body weight activity. I've never just done a bunch of body weight activity. Like I said, it's boring to me. So if you like doing that, do what works best for you. But anything is good as long as you're trying to stay active. Anything is good as long as you're trying to stay active. But I built my body off machines. I actually prefer machines more than anything because it allows you to keep the tension in the area that you're trying to stress and get growth from without having to worrying about form and technique, things to that nature. Then if it's a point that I did machines for maybe 2 months to a month, then I might do dumbbells or something to that nature. But I'm going to be real with y'all. I'm going to be on these machines probably for another 2-3 months. I'm going to be on these machines for another 2-3 months. But with that said, do we have any more questions before we stab out? This was a great live. Once again, thank you for everybody who has tapped in on the live. Thank you for everybody that's tapped in on the live. I hope you were able to take in some good information because we talked about a lot. And I did give you a recap at the end because I want to make sure you understand where I'm coming from. I don't want things to go one ear out the other. And then once again, look, I ain't sell you no supplements. I ain't sell you no programs. I ain't sell you nothing. But if you want to work with your boy, all you got to do is reach out. I can point you in all the right directions. I just want to make things a lot easier for you. You can get everything you want as long as you work hard enough for it. And I was able to build my body without all the extra. And I'm telling you right now, you can build your physique without all the extra. People love to think you need all of this additional things or you need to have this extra, you need to create this extra budget in order to take this or buy this that's going to help you get this and improve upon this. In actuality, you just need to tighten up on your plan, your program. That's all you need to do. You just need to tighten more up on your program, and you'll be able to get everything that you want. But with that said, once again, you all have a great weekend. Don't work too hard, and I hope you enjoy this live, and I'm going to catch you.